Audio Jungle.
Hi, Bad Raven fans. Welcome to another review. I'm going to do a oldie but a goodie. Everybody can tell by the picture behind me. Looks like Jaws is attacking somebody. But I wanted to do a review of this movie. It's old, I know. It's not even in the 80s, can you believe it? I'm going way back in 1975 and picking this movie out of obscurity. This very little known picture called Jaws. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. I know everybody knows Jaws. And so the review doesn't really have to have spoiler written on it or anything, because who hasn't watched it? And if you haven't watched it, I'm sorry. This is going to be a spoiler review. I got my trusty Anniversary Collector's Edition Jaws DVD. Widescreen. Coming at you. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I know, tacky. There's the spine. But anyway, this is Jaws. This is my DVD. I don't even have this on Blu-ray. I don't know how many reviews I've done lately with no movies on Blu-ray. What's getting into me? But I mean, what's got into me, I guess. I haven't upgraded my collection. And this one, it should be pretty cheap by now to get on Blu-ray. But I digress. But anyway, I love this movie. Back 1975, I watched it at the old Corbin Cinema that I worked at later on. It only had 2 screens then. And like I said, my sister Sharon, she lived in between Corbin and Barberville, and she was close there, so she knew what movies were on. She knew what was the hip and happening movies to go to. So we relied on her to go see great movies like Jaws and Star Wars and King Kong and Close Encounters of the Third Kind and all types of great movies, and Grease and all that. So this was my first taste of horror on the big screen, I guess you could say. Because this is definitely a horror film to me and to anybody else that knows anything about movies. Because the shark, me and my sister Chris would play games where we had like a bunk bed, and we'd act like the top bunk bed was the boat, and we would get off the ladder into the water in the house. We was in our imaginations. Kids, there is such thing as imaginations. Well, we had imaginations back in the day. We would act like that was the boat, the top of the bunk bed. So one of us would be on the boat, and we're getting down in the water, and one of us would be the shark. And the one with the shark was a broom. We had a broom, and a broom as a shark. But see, we had imagination, like I said, so the broom would come out of nowhere. You'd be we'd actually do the swimming motions with our hands, like we're swimming around the living room and feel like we're underwater. And in our minds, we were. And the person with the broom would kind of stick out the edge of the broom outside the next doorway, and we try to, we were swimming really fast to get back to the bunk bed, and always the person with the broom would always catch you and kind of hit you in the back, and you'd actually feel fear thinking of Jaws and got you, before you get in there. So it was really fun. We had some cool times with that. I don't know what that got to do with the movie, but see, that's what we played after we watched that movie was crazy games, because we loved that movie so much. Like I said, I was really young when I watched that. This 75, I was only about 7 or 8. I mean, my mom, back then it was PG, so my mom took me to it, and I just remember the one scene in there where the head falls out of the bottom of the boat, and I mean, I was just stunned. I was just shocked in horror seeing a head of a body coming out 7, 8 years old. I mean, who wouldn't be shocked? Great parenting, but still awesome parenting too. So that gave me a great love for horror, of course, and scary movies. Especially, I didn't know how to swim then. I still don't know how to swim now, so no problem about it. And we watched that movie, and it was packed, and it was lines, it was blockbusters. That was true blockbusters. I tell my son about blockbuster movies, like he thinks of the Blockbuster video that used to be around. No, I said they call a movie a blockbuster because the line was stretched around the block, and that's what was called a blockbuster. This was no exception. The line stretched all the way up the shopping center, all the way up the sidewalk, all the way in front of other stores where people were trying to get in because it was such an awesome movie. I don't know how we found out about it besides maybe regular TV. We didn't have the greatest cable back then, so we probably just saw, just a few what you call trailers of it, and my sister has seen that was on and said, "Hey, dummies, you got to go see this movie." So she probably drug us out of the holler and took us down there, and we watched it. And I just want to say that it was an awesome movie. But let me get into the actual people in this movie. I shouldn't even have to use a cheat sheet here. But you know who the police chief is? Martin Brody was played by Roy Schneider. Robert Shaw was Quinn. And awesome with those two. Richard Dreyfuss was Matt Hooper. Lauren Gray was Ellen Brody. And there were a cast of thousands in there too. And Bruce the Wonder Shark, which was named after Spielberg's lawyer. I'll just tell you a general overview. Shark is in Amityville. It's Connecticut, I think it's where it's set. In Amityville over there. And it gets a girl at the beginning of it, at the classic scene of her swimming at night, naked of course, and she gets taken in by the shark. And they find her body later, and Amityville is a very big tourist town. People come to swim and everything. So when they find this body, they don't want to say it was a shark attack. Chief Brody does, but the mayor and stuff says, no, we can't have a panic on the 4th of July. We got to have, tourist dollars. We got to be able to have people here, just make the beaches safe. They don't know this shark is out for, going to stay around there for a while. So it's basically, they're trying to keep the beaches safe, and they can't, of course. All heck breaks loose. Jaws is everywhere, going crazy. It ends up being a little kid on that next day, and they have to get somebody to kill it because it's become such a bad, thing for the town. Nobody will come swim. Who wants to swim when they're going to be, lunch? You know what I'm saying? And Richard Dreyfuss plays the young oceanographer, I guess. He's trying to study sharks, and he finds out that they have a problem there, so he ends up just staying there with them because he's brought in to see if it, the bite on the first woman was actually a shark bite, and he's supposed to go off and study sharks. And he said, "Why should I have to go study sharks? You got a big great white here." So he stays and he helps Chief Brody to hire somebody, or the town hires Quinn to kill it, and they end up going with him on the boat to be able to track the shark down. And then you get in a big cat and mouse thing with them shooting barrels at it to keep it above, so it won't be able to submerge, and then be able to chase it and bring it into the shallows and kill it. But anyway, they try that method. You watch the movie, you know what ends up happening there. But what makes this movie so great is Spielberg had such a hard time filming it because they tried to film it on water, actual place, where they can't control. So then they have a mechanical shark that doesn't work good in seawater. They find out it just keeps messing up the cables. So they can only use it sparingly, which makes it great because Spielberg has to make it. And Steven Spielberg is the director here. He has to make it even more Hitchcock-like because he wants to. Because he can't show the shark, so he has to build up suspense. He has to, show the person being, pulled down, and you can't see him. What's pulling them down? You just think it in your mind, and it becomes so much scarier, and you just freak out because your mind can always think up 10,000 times worse than what you could actually be shown. So it's really a godsend that the shark didn't work because it made Spielberg. He had to use his mind. He had to use innovation to cause us to be scared to death, and he was able to do that with just some barrels floating out in the water and just some, just general scenes of a shark fin going by was enough to terrify me, especially as a child and even older people, because it made so much money, But it was the first real blockbuster out, and people came in droves to see it. I remember it was the talk of everybody at the time. See, then we didn't have social media, we didn't have internet, so it was like mouth to mouth, as far as all you could hear, just people spreading it from one person to another. But it done tremendous money, and it made me fall in love with movies and movie making experiences, because the more I read about this, the more I researched it over the years, the more it makes me like documentaries about movies. So I just wanted to kind of put my memories on video to let all the Bad Raven fans and my family and everybody else that went through this time to remember this great movie, Jaws. I still love it today. I'm gonna get it upgraded, believe me, to Blu-ray, and it's a tremendous movie. If you haven't, if you're like one of the only people that's never seen it, watch it. You will love it. It is what movies should be. It's a great movie experience. Give it a try. Leave me a comment what your experience was when you watched Jaws as a child, or on video, or just recently, whatever when you actually watched it. I would be glad to hear it and comment on your comments, and just just check it out and see what you think about it. So I'm gonna let you go, and we'll talk at you later. Remember, the Bad Raven is your friend, and we appreciate every view we get. So we'll let you go, and goodbye.